good and bad of fish keeping. So with an aquarium basement full of aquariums, or heck, even if you just got one aquarium, you're always going to be experiencing good and bad things. I've been lucky, and over the last couple years in the aquarium basement, it has been mostly good things. We know there's been some bad things. Not long ago we lost Jack. We've had leaks in the 3,000 gallon, but for the most part, it's been good. But as of recent, I've run into a bit of a run of really mixed luck. A lot of good, but some serious bad too. And that's what this video is all about. And we're gonna touch all aspects of the aquarium basement because unfortunately, things are going on all over the place. So let's get started. All right, when I say bad, I'm not just talking about a Kessel, an expensive Kessel light that stopped working. That's frustrating. I'm talking about real good and bad. But before we get into any bad, let's get into some good. So for the fans of the 3,000 gallon aquarium or cichlids in general, big cichlids, you painfully waited for months and months and months as I grew out fish in the grow out tank, and they finally made it into the 3,000 gallon. So a few of you have already, or many of you probably already seen the baby peacock bass that have been moved over. But what you may not have seen is that we now have a lot of pikes and we have Lima shovelnose catfish. Now the Lima are going to be tough to show. They love it back in those plants, and they're not huge yet. They're actually as big as this pike down here, the citrus pike, but they just stay back in those plants a lot, and they're hard to pick out. If I get a good shot of them, I will, but until then, let's focus on the grow outs that are easy to show. And there's one coming into frame right now, which is the Atabapo pike, as he goes over to the other side of the aquarium. And there he is. The Atabapo pike was grown out in the grow out tank. So another pike we have is the lenticulata pike, and this is kind of a good and bad right on this alone, because I used to have a very large lenticulata pike, but he passed away, and this is a very young one. I love that fish, and I definitely couldn't go without having one. So we successfully grew one up in the grow out tank, and he's here joining his other pike friends, the Zabrina, the Atabapo one, and the Leucistrus pike. So we have a very nice pike community. Everyone is getting along great, and very happy about that. And that is certainly one of the good aspects of things going on in the aquarium basement, as well as the peacock bass grow out. So we have our Orinoco peacock bass we've had for a while, and then we have two young ones. One swimming back there, and there's another one. So now we have 3 Orinoco peacock bass in the 3,000 gallon. We have the 4 pikes, and we have the 2 Lima shovelnose catfish. But if you're thinking something's missing in the 3,000 gallon, you know, we have Oscars, we have true parrot cichlids, Severum, peacock bass, pike cichlids, green terror. It's a lot of beautiful fish, Lima shovelnose, all these great fish, but something's missing, something that everyone always asks for. And I was on it, and that's when tragedy struck. Let's go around back to the grow out and let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, we're back behind the 3,000 gallon with the grow out tank, and you may notice the net's missing because I had fish that I was growing out that are known for jumpers. So you know we grow out the pikes here, the peacock bass, the Lima shovelnose, but there was one other very special fish that I was growing out here after 3 months, literally 2 days before they were going to get moved over to the 3,000 gallon. I was feeding them. I noticed somebody who's very easy to spot at feeding time wasn't there. I looked around, and damn it if I did not find my arowana grow out had jumped out the back of the aquarium. Somehow, after 3 months, he snuck his way out the back of the net there, which was there at the time, and was on the floor dried up by the time I found him. Oh, it's so frustrating with the arowana. This is my second one to jump out, and I love the fish. I want this fish in the 3,000 gallon, but at the minute, I'm just frustrated. I'll try again, but right now, I'm just frustrated. So we saw a lot of good 3,000, and definitely this is bad. All right, I want to show you the good and the bad. I want to show you everything in the fish room or the fish basement, but I don't want to leave off on a bad note on the 3,000 gallon. So I just want to get a little more footage of everybody in here. Everybody was doing great, loving life in the 3,000 gallon, giving me tons of enjoyment. Just can't ask for more. The tank keeps maturing, keeps coming into its own. Like always, I'm always very happy that I have a community of aggressive predators all getting along. They've got the space. They're used to the way I feed them and what they're eating. They're not competing with each other, and they're just doing well in a large community. And I enjoy the heck out of this tank. So we're gonna leave the 3000 on a good note, even though it's back to the drawing board with getting an arrow on in here. And back there's one of the Lima shovel nose underneath the log there. Hard to see. Actually, I think, yeah, they're both there. Both of them are under there. Tough to see, but they will get very large. They will be very easy to see in given time, and they will be cruising the length of the 3,000 gallon pretty soon. All right, let's jump over to Predator Bay. Okay. Predator Bay doesn't fall under the category of good and bad. Predator Bay falls in the category of good and I'm not sure yet. So let me explain what I mean. I had an opportunity from an Indonesian wholesaler to bring in more sharks. So I said, yes, please. And I got 2 new sharks. The maybe is that one of these sharks is spending a lot of time just sort of in that cave. He moves around a little bit, but it's hard to see him. He doesn't come out and aggressively feed like everybody else. And I've been trying to target feed him the best I can. I've seen him eat once, and a couple other times I wasn't sure if he ate or not. So that's the maybe. So let me fill you in on who we're talking about here. So, there's another funny thing with this. So obviously English is my first language. English is not the first language of people in Indonesia. And their idea of a marbled bamboo shark is actually my idea of a brown banded bamboo shark. So we had one already, and there's one there, and that's not the one we had. That is the one we already had. So what we have now is the original banded bamboo shark and the new one over here, the larger one. So now we have 2 banded bamboo sharks, which in a sense isn't such a bad thing, because of all the sharks, those are the ones that kind of lay around the most. So when you have 2 of them, you actually get a lot more activity, because at any given time, one of them is probably doing something. So that's, I'm not going to call that a bad thing, or even a so-so thing. That's a good thing. I'm happy to have this shark. He's not what I ordered, but he's a great shark, and I'm happy to have him, and I'll definitely enjoy keeping him. The other shark, which he is tucked back in the cave there with the eel, it is a coral cat shark. Personal favorite of mine, but again, that's remains to be seen. He came in fine, he looked fine, and I acclimated him, and he swam around for a while, and then he was in a cave over here, just kind of stayed there. Then he moved to a cave over here, and then we stayed there. Like I said, I've only definitively seen him eat once, though he has been target fed 3 or 4 times, so it's hard to tell. The food goes in the cave. I'm having to feed everybody else over here to keep him away, to give that guy more time to eat comfortably. So remains to be seen, but definitely a good for the Predator Bay, and hopefully not a bad, because I really hope the coral cat shark does well and starts feeding more aggressively, and does well in the aquarium. All right, we'll do a quick stop over at the 150 gallon Reef Cube, where the good is I'm still good at growing coralline algae. As you notice, all the rock that was the new rock that got moved in there and put up there was not covered in coralline. Well, it is now, and I'm still good at growing all the easy corals, the pallies, the zoas, all the softies, and still not that great at SPS. There's a stick in the back there. I don't know how easy it is to see it. It's tough to film in a 3-foot tank. It's either direction, no matter it's right in the middle of the tank, so no matter where I film it from, it's still far away. But there's a little stick in the back there. Not doing that great. I'm doing all the calcium tests out right, strontium, iodine. I believe water flow is excellent for that type of coral, and I thought the lighting was excellent, but I went ahead and moved it back some, and if in doubt, bring it back a little bit. And I don't have a par meter, so I can't be for sure, but based on that location and the fact that we have 2 Kessel tuna blue 360Xs up there, it's not. I don't think it's a situation of not enough light. There's a little bit of bleaching on the coral, so the lighting has been reduced, and we'll see if it comes back. Actually, I think there has been a little bit of color coming back, so maybe I'll be an SPS keeper yet, but that remains to be seen. And the frags underneath, same situation. all the easy stuff doing well, all of the sticks, all the SPS doing so-so. So work in progress. Continuing to work on the aquarium, and one day this will actually be a reef aquarium. I know it's hard to believe because it's taken forever, but I guess the reality of it is it's busy at work, it's busy in life, building the fish room annex, the new aquariums. Something's got to take a back seat, and for me, it's been the Reef Cube. It's been in cruise control, but I will get back to it, and we will one day make this a proper reef. Okay, for the 220 Amazon Jungle Aquarium and the 125 Jungle Asian Stream Tank, there's no good or bad, but there is a change. So my situation is the fish. Originally, I was going to put the fish from the Asian Jungle Stream Aquarium in the new 600-gallon aquarium in the annex, but I ran into an issue, and that issue is that the fish that are going into the 220 need very warm temperature. I might be giving away what they are, but it is difficult for me to do that here. It's difficult for me to keep this above 80 because the circuit that this is on has this aquarium, it has my whole computer desk area, my office, this other aquarium, it has a bunch of stuff on it, and I just don't have the juice to keep this tank at the proper temperature for those fish, versus in the fish room annex, I do, because there's two separate lines run for each of those tanks. They each have dedicated power. So what I'm thinking is the Asian Jungle Stream Aquarium will move to the 220. Now it's still a big upgrade, and it keeps it a jungle stream because it's a long and relatively narrow compared to the length, versus the tank they're going in is very chunky. It was I conversed with some of the people in comments on that, and they got a good point, which it doesn't look like a stream when it's almost a cube of an aquarium. So it allows me to increase this. I think I can still do close to what I want to do with Escape. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as a 600, what I can do in a 600 gallon, but it'll allow me to still give these guys an upgrade, still do something with Escape, not trip my circuit breaker constantly. These guys over here still going into the 750, and then that means the 600 gallon is going to get the fish that we're going to 220, and they're going to get a much larger environment. So what I'll do is I'll just do more with that than what I thought I originally could. All right, last but not least, the 1500 gallon system. This one, more bad than good. There's been issues. Okay, let's start with the 265 portion of the 1500 gallon system. So there's a fish missing, and that fish didn't die, and that's a good thing, though I want to wring this fish's neck because he did not do me a solid. So what you're not seeing is the blue throat trigger. He is no longer in the aquarium because he jumped out. But lucky for him, what's below his aquarium is a 700-gallon refugium sump, which is where he now lives. Now the problem with that, the good thing is he's alive, he didn't die. The reason I want to wring his throat is because he chewed on my liner. You might notice that we're down 500 gallons and that the main pump is turned off, and it is a mess. And I had to adjust the nozzle on there, to try to triage it. We got no water flowing to the 600 reef slope. Total mess. Any higher than that, the water starts to leak. I could wring that fish's neck. But at any rate, big problem, right? This has got to be fixed. I've got to take all of this live rock, as much of the shells and things, and if I can get as many of the sensors out as I can, get them into temporary storage. I need to get the equipment out of there, get the protein skimmer, get all that stuff moved out. Fortunately, I do have more liner, so I'll cut another sheet of liner, and I'm going to have to get in there and reline it and solve this problem long term. That blue throat trigger is going into the 600 reef slope. That's going to be his new home. No jumping out of this boy. All right, so that's kind of bad. Well, it's good that he didn't die, he jumped and landed in there, but it's bad that he chewed a hole in my liner. Unfortunately, there's more bad for the 1500 gallon system. Okay, the reef slope. The bad continues. You see the corals. I moved over some of the soft corals from the 150 reef. The toadstool mushrooms, 2 of them. There's one there looking bad, and he's been in here for 4 to 5 weeks. It's not recovering. The one, he's on here, but he's drooped on the back. You can't see him. Doing horribly. The leather, finger leather, doing great, grown already. The other toadstool, doing great. So, you know, obviously I tried moving around different spots. You know, I tested the water, checked everything out. It's fine. I don't know what happened, but I'm going to have to remove them. So the loss of those toadstool mushroom corals is definitely not good. But the really not good thing is there's a fish missing. The queen angel. The queen angel jumped out, and I didn't know this for weeks and weeks and weeks because I couldn't find them. I looked everywhere, and you know, I'm looking on the ground everywhere, and I can't find them. I'm shining lights under there. I have no idea what's going on. I'm talking to my friend. It's like, it's bizarre. I can't. This fish is pretty big. I mean, I can't figure out what happened to him. And then when I was painting the floor in the new fish room annex, I found what's left of him drug over there behind the dryer, and the only I'd like to say person, the only cat that I think could have done this is my helper. So now, of course, it's not her fault. The fish jumped out. She found it on the ground. He was probably already dead, but she did drag him off over there, and that gave me a mystery for weeks and weeks to figure out what the heck went on. But that is what went on. So that is super bad. A little bit of good though is I was able to find a baby queen angel. So just like the lenticulata, I love that fish and I want to have it, and I want everybody in the reef slope growing up together. So fortunately I was able to find a baby one for an affordable price and get them in here and get them acclimated. And so the reef slope is on track. And another good thing for the reef slope is coralline, right? We have a reef, right? We have coralline everywhere. It's growing in, so it's just ready for me to continue down the path of getting it populated with corals. And no other fish death in here. No one, you know, just the jumper. So unfortunately, more bad than good on the 1,500 gallon system. And I got a lot of work ahead of me fixing that refugium sump. But I will get it fixed, and I will get this populated with corals, and we will be making a proper future video on the 600 reef slope with a tank that actually looks like a reef slope. And of course, we got a lot of really awesome fish in here, and they're doing great, and they're growing up, and this is definitely going to be a really nice tank in the future. It's coming along. There's bumps on the road, but it is coming along. Okay, so that's it for the good and the bad. I wish it could always be good, and I wish I didn't make mistakes, and I wish accidents didn't happen, but as you can see, fish do jump out of aquariums. Things do happen, but we move on, and you got to remember that honestly, 99% of the time, the fish basement gives me nothing but joy, and then 1% of the time it gives me grief. But that's life in general, right? Anything in life that's worth having, it comes with some upkeeps, comes with some ups and downs. So the fish basement is no different. Overall, though, very happy. Tanks are all moving along. Obviously, if you saw the previous episode, episode 30, the fish annex has started, and there's been more progress, and the next video will probably show you that progress, probably part 2. Definitely good stuff to show coming along. That's going to be, I'm really excited, a 600 gallon, a 750 gallon aquarium. Man, that's fun stuff. It's fun to build. It's fun to think. I just dream about the aquascaping that's coming and what those tanks can be. We got bigger homes for, you know, the fish in the Amazon jungle. We're going to get bigger home for the Asian jungle stream. So we're gonna try to make a good scape for those guys, even though they're not going to as big aquarium as we originally thought. So in addition to the part 2 for the double DIY builds, we've also got another Aquarium Explorer video coming out, and the first Species Explorer video coming out pretty soon, as well as, of course, part 2 of double DIY build. So lots of things coming. So stay tuned, check back. Thanks for watching.